Welcome to the game of Life After the Revolution. In order to play the game, though, you have to know the rules. But first, I have to set the scene. The Revolutionary War from 1775 to 1783 was the war that won America its freedom from the British. Lots of talk about rights and liberty were taking place. What are the rules to play this fun game?
Well, first, you have to draw your occupation.
I'm a white male.
I'm a slave.
I'm an indentured servant.
Now, pick a salary card.
I get $10 every payday.
Oh, sorry. Slaves don't get a salary.
Oh no!
Oh no, I got a salary card, but it won't work for 5 years.
Make sure to spin the wheel to see your next move.
Oh wow, I got the right to vote.
Oh wow, I wish I had that.
Well, you should have had property.
My card says that I fought in the American Revolution and to spin to see if I get freed.
Oh, well, I guess you don't get freedom.
But it says on my card that I would get freedom after I joined the revolution.
Slaves ended up being freed depending on their circumstance.
My turn. It says, Revolutionary War is distracting my master. Run away or stay.
You can choose to leave your master while they are distracted by the revolution.
Oh boy, well I guess I'm out of here. Wait a gosh dang second. If indentured servants can walk off just like that, why would I want one?
Good question. After the revolution, lots of indentured servants walked off or left their masters, leading to the spike in slavery and a decline in the practice of indentured servitude.
Well, why did they keep slavery if indentured servitude was declining?
Slavery was the foundation of the economy and the social structure, making it harder to abolish.
Well, it's my turn now. Controversy over slavery comes up. See how it affects me.
If it lands on 1 through 4, you side with the Declaration of Independence. If you get numbers 5 through 7, you agree that slavery is wrong, but still own slaves. And if you land on numbers 8 through 10, that means you are completely pro-slavery. Spin to see what you get.
Wait just a second. I want to hear some more about these options.
Sure. The Declaration of Independence stated that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, which many people interpreted to include all men, including slaves. Almost every founding father had slaves at one point in their life. And though many of them were privately against slavery, they still had slaves, with notable exceptions being John Adams and Thomas Paine. Another common belief of the time was that white men could not have full liberty without others being deprived of it.
Hold on. Why would anyone think that others are below them?
Slavery was a common practice that a lot of people reasoned was the only way for white people to be free. After the Revolution, however, when everyone was saying America granted liberty and freedom for all, controversy arose on whether or not that freedom applied to the slaves.
Oh wow! Tell me more!
A lot of people were pro-slavery, meaning that they felt slavery was necessary for American freedom, while other people were anti-slavery, known as the abolitionist movement. This movement was created with the idea that for America to be truly free, everyone had to be granted freedom. A lot of people also said that they were anti-slavery, but still had slaves. Later, the British would comment on this hypocrisy. Dr. Samuel Johnson, who was an English writer, saying that the loudest yelps for liberty were for the slaves.
Oh wow! I feel like a changed person! Well, now they know about slavery, I can go ahead and spin! I guess I'm pro-slavery!
Oh, I landed on a baby card. Let's see how many kids I have.
Oh, no, you don't. A lot of the conditions that slaves worked under prevented them from having children or families. First, you need to spin to see if you are located in South Carolina or Georgia, which had a low birth rate since most of the slaves lived in harsh conditions. Charleston and Savannah had a more family-based life. And finally, in the northern colonies, slaves were a smaller part of the population, making it harder for slave families to develop.
Well, I guess I should spin to see. Oh no, I live in South Carolina or Georgia.
Uh-oh, your chances of having kids have been reduced greatly. Numbers 1 through 8 means that you won't have kids. Spin to see.
Gosh dang it! Better luck next time.
Player 3, it's your turn.
Oh boy. Oh dang, I started a business and it succeeded. I guess I'm a merchant now. I'm part of the abolition movement. I believe that it's just wrong to keep slaves and that it is against the unalienable rights that Jefferson wrote about. Even though I disagree with him having slaves, the ideas that he writes about all kind of like make sense, you know? I want to believe him, but he kind of owns slaves too, so yeah. Hey, it's my turn. Slaves escape to Pennsylvania, lose $50.
Wait, why did they escape to Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania Quakers believed that all people had a divine inner light, leading to a common anti-slavery ideal. This became a public debate. Even Benjamin Rush in 1773 said that he advocated for American liberty to espouse the cause of general liberty, saying slavery was a crime and people would receive their punishment.
Was Pennsylvania the only anti-slavery state?
Oh gosh, no. By 1775, every state north of Maryland took steps towards emancipation.
Oh, it's my turn. It looks like the founding fathers are looking for new slaves after theirs left for the war, and to spin to see if I get chosen.
Wait, I'm confused. Can you explain?
Of course, during the Revolutionary War, the British recruited slaves into their ranks.
Similar to how the Americans did?
5,000 slaves fought for American independence. The British trumped that, and by the end, 15,000 ex-slaves went to England with the British at the end of the war.
Why did so many slaves join the British side?
Starting with Lord Dunmore's proclamation of 1775, and then 5 years later in 1780 with General Henry Clinton's proclamation, both of which offered freedom to any slave who escaped slavery and made it and joined the British Army. Many slaves chose to join the British because of this. This included, notably, a lot of the slaves owned from people who signed the Declaration of Independence. 30 of Thomas Jefferson's slaves left to join the British.
No way.
But surely the people wanted their slaves back after the war.
Well, of course they did. After the war, people started to complain that the British stole their property. In 1827, the British gave a payment to 1,100 Americans.
Oh gosh, dang, that's a lot of people.
Sure is. Now back to my turn. Nope, I'm staying where I'm at.
My turn, I guess. What does that mean?
That means we are nearing the end of the game. This is the last turn, so you better make it count.
Oh boy. My card says I'm a slave that escaped and now is pretending to be a freeborn. Spin to see what I do. Wait a moment, why would a slave escape? What are my options again for my play?
Ah, of course. 1 through 5, the slave gets turned in and sent back to their owner. Or 6 through 10, the slave is freed and moved into a free black community.
Okay. The slave is free!
Well, that's the end, folks. Hope you had a fun time playing.
Who won?
Does anyone really win with slavery?
Aww.
Well, now we know how to play Game of Life after the Revolution. Yay!